Welcome to CBA News in Brief. My name is Wangui Ngugi. The House of Representatives today rejected to pass a bill to regulate the exploration and exploitation of minerals in the country. 28 members voted down the bill, while 18 voted a yes. 12 members of the parliament have abstained from voting. The House started with voting on particular articles. The members of parliament voted down one article after another. Realizing the sentiments of the parliament, the Speaker of the House, Bashir Mohamed Farah, finally put the bill to vote as one unit. The House voted against it. Farah Dere, one of the members of parliament that voted against the bill, told CBA that the ministry is pushing for this bill to advance the interests of a few people working in the ministry. He said the interest of Somaliland's people is not adequately protected in the bill. The bill proposed licensing procedures for different types of exploration works on minerals. Ahlu Sunnah wal Jama's militants clashed with the National Army forces in Mataban district Saturday in a checkpoint as the group attempted to bar the forces accompanying Interior Minister Abdi Sabriye. According to sources in the town, Ahlu Sunnah troops manning a checkpoint into the town denied the minister and the SNA forces entry, thus leading to clashes. Reports say that Somalia government forces have taken control of Dhuusamareeb, Guriel, and Mataban districts from Ahlu Sunnah wal Jama. It is said that government forces, especially the 21st Division and NISA, have taken over security in Guriel district following the withdrawal of Ahlu Sunnah militia. The forces also took charge of Mataban on Saturday after overpowering Ahlu Sunnah forces in the area. Ahlu Sunnah said last month that it had withdrawn from a deal with the federal government to integrate its forces with the national security forces. The capture of these areas follows what appears to be a collapse of a pact between the federal government and Ahlu Sunnah mid this year, which saw the start of integration of the latter's forces into the state security agencies in July. Ahlu Sunnah has, since its founding in 2009, liberated Galmudug districts from Al-Shabaab militant group. It has partnered with government forces previously in fending off Al-Shabaab onslaughts in Luke and Gebaharey in Gedo region of Somalia. But the two sides parted ways in the year 2015 during the Galmudug state formation process when Ahlu Sunnah boycotted the exercise and went ahead to occupy Dhuusamareeb town. An IGAD brokered deal in late 2017 saw the group subsequently form a unity government with Galmudug administration, which allowed the group leader Shakir as the head of Galmudug cabinet. President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo has directed state agencies to accelerate efforts to find lasting solutions to the natural disasters in the country. A delegation led by the president on Saturday evening arrived in Beledweyn town to assess the situation of the town, which was submerged by floods. The president waded through knee-deep muddy waters to access the streets of Beledweyn town. He reportedly ordered Parliament to donate their salaries to relieve thousands of families affected by the massive flooding. On the president's Twitter page, he said, and I quote, "The pain and suffering from the recurrent floods is one we all share with our citizens, and in expression of our togetherness, I join you to let you know that you are not alone. May Allah shower His mercy upon all our affected families as we seek lasting measures in the long term." End of quote. The lower house of parliament of the federal government of Somalia has approved the accounting for the 2017 budget. The accounting bill was approved by the majority of the members of parliament of the House of the People. 128 members of parliament voted in favor of the accounting for the 2017 budget, while 8 members of parliament rejected the submissions. 5 lawmakers abstained from voting for the 2017 accounts of the budget for the federal government of Somalia. The passing of the bills approved by the majority of the members of parliament of the House of the People comes days before $459.5 million budget for the 2020 financial year will be presented to the legislators without accounts for the federal government's budget for 2018 and 2019. Somalia Cabinet recently approved a draft fiscal budget of $459.5 million for the financial year ending 2019-2020, which is $130 million more than the previous fiscal year. The International Monetary Fund has projected Somalia's economic growth to remain broadly stable at 2.9% in 2019, despite the difficult security situation in the Horn of Africa nation. On the occasion of International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists, Somali Journalists Syndicate called on the federal government of Somalia to investigate all crimes against journalists and bring the perpetrators to justice. More than 60 journalists have been killed across Somalia since 1992, and 45 of them were assassinated in targeted killings. The National Union of Somali Journalists, with support from UN Women and the International Federation of Journalists, commemorated this year's International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists in an event that was held in Mogadishu. Over 50 journalists from the local media were joined by senior officials from the federal government and the judiciary to remember slain journalists and to challenge the impunity enjoyed by armed individuals and groups who threaten, attack, torture and murder Somali journalists. On the streets of Mogadishu, posters and billboards were placed with a clear message saying, "Stop impunity of crimes against journalists and say no to violence and harassment against women journalists." British Ambassador to Somalia Ben Fender met several Somalia reporters to show his solidarity and support for journalists in Somalia. In a video posted on his Twitter page, Ben Fender noted that Somalia is one of the toughest places in the world to be a journalist. A military tribunal court in the capital Mogadishu has sentenced 3 men accused of being members of the Al-Shabaab. On Saturday, 3rd November, the military court sentenced Abdikarim Mohammed Mahmoud Hussein, Abdikani Ali Mahmoud Ali and Ali Muhuddin Abshir for burying roadside bombs on areas located the east of Mogadishu. The first and second suspects were charged with up to 9 counts of the use of hand grenades against government officers, soldiers and AMISOM forces, while the third accused was found with piles of explosives and had been storing materials used to make explosive devices. The accused has been disguising himself as a tailor, thus escaping from the radar of intelligence officers. The 3 men were arrested in the livestock market neighborhood of Yakshid district on the 29th of October this year. The military court ruled that Abdikarim Mohammed Mahmoud Hussein and Abdikani Ali Mahmoud Ali were each sentenced to 15 years in prison, while Ali Muhuddin Abshir was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The 3 convicts now have the right to file an appeal within 30 days of the court's decision before the implementation of the ruling. Human rights groups have constantly accused the court-martial that tries terror-related cases for a quick sentence that does not give the suspects enough time for the process. The tribunal court has, however, rebuffed the claims. Thank you for watching CBA News Brief. Catch Abdullahi Hassan later tonight with more and detailed news coverage.